6:45 p.m. on Tuesday, June 6th, 2023. I'd like to call the CIC Board of Directors meeting to order. Mr. Kellums, would you like to call the roll?
Mr. Dieters?
Aye.
Mr. Weidman? Absent. Ms. Schwegman?
Present.
Mr. James?
I'm here.
Mr. Kellums? I'm here.
Okay, the first order of business is the Economic Development Grant Program update. Oh, sorry. Miss number one. First item on the agenda is the approval of the March 7th, 2023 CIC annual meeting minutes.
I move we approve the March 7th, 2023 annual meeting minutes. Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Kellums?
Mr. Dieters?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Mr. Kellums? Aye.
Okay, now we'll move on to the second item on the agenda, which is the Economic Development Grant Program update.
We started off the year with the beginning balance of $29,112.59. We've transferred in total revenue this year of $100,000. Our total expenses have been $86,679.36. So that breaks down into $82,932.22 in grants and $3,747.14 in administrative cost and bank expenses. If you look at your sheet, you can see that Central is way up this year, but Southwest is way down. I would expect more to come in through there. But we currently have a balance of $42,433.23. As far as I know, we do not have anything outstanding right now, so we should be in fairly decent shape. But some of these numbers are a little erratic from previous years.
Yeah, it almost feels like there's a timing issue over the course of
Right.
multiple years, just as far as when it comes in. So hopefully that will remedy itself in the coming.
Where is the sheet we're looking at, by the way?
Were you looking at it? No. I think it was emailed to us.
Ah, okay.
I didn't print it out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Any additional questions as it relates to Economic Development Grant Program update? Okay, we will move on to the next item, which is the date of the next meeting.
Well, just like our JEDS, this meeting has already been set for the day after Labor Day. We would like to move that along with, we have moved the rest of our meetings. We would like to move this to August 29th, which would be at the same time, which would be 6:45. If we get a motion for that.
I move we move the meeting to August 29th at 6:45 p.m.
I'll second that. Mr. Kellums?
Mr. Dieters?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Mr. Kellums? Aye.
Okay, before I move on to item 4, adjournment, is there anything else for the good of the order?
I have nothing.
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn. Second.
Mr. Kellums?
Mr. Dieters?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Mr. Kellums? Aye.
Time is 6:48. We are adjourned. Regular trustee meeting. 7 p.m. on Tuesday, June 6, 2023. I'd like to call the trustees meeting to order. If everyone would please stand for the invocation given this evening by Mr. Kellums.
Heavenly Father, we gather together tonight to do the business of our township. Grant each of us the gift of listening while others are talking, the gift of discernment as we discuss each issue brought before us, and wisdom as we seek ways forward for our township, its residents, and the businesses located within our boundaries. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Dieters, I will let you call the roll.
Mr. James.
I'm here.
Ms. Schwegman.
Present.
Mr. Weedman. Mr. Weedman's not here.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes for the May 16th, 2023 trustee meeting.
I move we approve the minutes from the May 16th, 2023 trustee meeting.
Second? Any further discussion? Mr. Dieters?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman.
Aye.
Mr. Weedman. Larry, do I need to continue to call Mr. Weedman's name?
No, we know he's not here.
Okay.
Public comments, Jeff. Do we have any this evening? Anybody signed up for public comments?
We do not.
Okay. We will move on then to the Sheriff's Patrol report.
All right. I actually have something to say today. I'm sure that everybody's curious about the shooting that happened outside of the Bar 312 on Sunday morning. Township can be happy to know that it was not a random incident. Apparently, and it was not directly related to the bar. Apparently, there was a fight between two known subjects at another location. One apparently followed the other one to the bar. There was another fight at that location. And during the breakup, a gun was produced and the subject was shot non-fatally in the leg. There was an arrest made and the gun was recovered.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? No?
I also have some good news for a change. The Sheriff's Office is providing anti-theft devices for owners of Kias. You've all been aware, I'm sure you've all heard in the news, the thefts of the Kias that are going around. These will be available at the main Sheriff's Districts, District 1 on Hamilton Avenue, District 3 up on Weekly Lane, District 4 right down here on Montgomery Road, and also in the Anderson Township area. There are some restrictions for them. They must be a resident. The person receiving the lock must be a resident of either a township or a village that's patrolled by the Sheriff's Office, and they must be a registered owner of a Kia. And that Kia has to have a steel key ignition, and you have to have proof of that ignition type. Push-button ignitions and key fob remote start ignitions will not be eligible for the device. Basically what it is a club. You put it on there so they can't turn the steering wheel, even if they pop the ignition. So those are free of charge while supplies last. We will be maintaining a list if we run out of locks. In case we get any more in, we'll give people a call back on that. If any questions are, you can call the Sheriff's main number on Hamilton Avenue with 513-825-1500.
That's great. Thank you. I'm sure owners of Kias will be very pleased to know that such an opportunity exists.
Yeah. What's the funding source for that? Is that coming
I
from
believe
the auto
Kia was
manufacturer?
involved with that. They were trying to make some amends for the situation that's going on.
So they don't get sued again over it.
I'm not going to comment on anything I don't know about.
Yeah. Thanks.
EMS and fire report, Chief.
Good evening. We're in the process of we want, part of your executive session is to hire a part-time person to finish our hydrant painting. We had someone part-time a year ago, and when they went back to school, they didn't finish up, and we got someone in mind that will be available to us until the end of July. So we've only got about 150 hydrants or so to finish up, mainly in the Sturbridge subdivision area. So we're wanting to put them on and try to finish up these hydrants before they go back to school. So that's all I have.
All right. Any questions? Mr. Ucotter, planning and zoning.
Yes, things are going great in the planning and zoning department. We're in a bit of a drought, so our nuisance grass complaints have gone down, but I do have one resolution tonight. It's for the property address is 121 3rd Avenue. Tall grass and weeds. It was initiated by our inspector, Mr. Kevin Clark. Date of complaint, or the date of initiation was May 15th of 23. Date of last inspection was May 30th of 23. The owner has been unresponsive to either Kevin's knocking on the door or a letter. And as you can see, it does not look like the grass has been cut all season.
Does it appear occupied?
Mhm.
Does appear occupied, okay.
With that, for the resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 12121 3rd Avenue, Sycamore Township, Ohio, Hamilton County, 45249.
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
A second? Any additional discussion? Mr. Dieters?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
With that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question, Larry. With two of us here rather than three, when would this go into effect? If it's not
It's a majority vote, so that's all.
immediately as to this? Okay, this doesn't require unanimity of all three. Okay.
Well, unanimity with two would be unanimity.
Okay. And I have a question for Mr. Upatter also.
Yes.
There's a property on Kugler Mill Road that I think we've cited before, just on the other side of 71, on the left, across from the new houses under construction, where the grass is very high again. And I think the empty lot there was running into that too. If you could have Kevin take a look at those, we may need to contact someone there because they're really tall weeds in the front yard.
Certainly, and Mr. Clark has the green light to, of course, initiate the case if he sees high grass, but I will send him out there and he'll take a look and get that initiated.
Great, thanks.
Okay, roads, maintenance, and recreation report. Mr. Rudelschoffer.
Okay. We have a busy report tonight. I'll start with the Parks and Rec report. This Saturday at 7 p.m., Music in the Park at Bechtold Park Shelter Number 3 will feature the band Hi Honey playing a variety of top 40 cover songs. There will also be 2 food trucks at the event, so come on out and enjoy the festivities. Good news, the township was successful in applying for the Hamilton County Small Event Grant. The township was awarded $20,000 to be used towards expenses at the festival in Sycamore.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
That's
Mr.
great.
Kelms will discuss the grant specifics in his administrator report.
That's great.
Yep. And just a reminder, the festival in Sycamore is July 14th and 15th. See our website, sycamoretownship.org, for festival details. And one last reminder, Yoga in the Park started this summer. It's going from June to September on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. at McDaniel Park, and on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Bechtold Park. And these are free events. Roads report, the 23 Township Road Program has been pushed back a couple weeks. It's now scheduled to begin in mid-July. More information will be available closer to construction. The Montgomery Road sidewalk improvements from Stewart Road to Ken Arbor Road began this week. If you're traversing in that area, Elita Construction has started removing the old curb on the north side of Montgomery Road in front of Esther Price Candies, and will continue east up towards Mission Baptist Church. Work on this side of the road, the north side, is expected to last 3 to 4 weeks before the contractor flips construction to the south side. So we're probably anticipating about 12 weeks hopefully this project will be complete. The Euclid Road sidewalk improvements from Hosbrook Road to Michael Drive, the township solicited RFQs for engineering services. TEC Engineering was ranked the highest firm for the project. Resolution will be presented to the board tonight to move forward with engineering services. The estimated construction cost is approximately $1 million, with construction to begin hopefully in mid-2024 on that project.
That's great.
Kenwood Road improvements, SORTA application. This project includes pavement repairs, resurfacing of on Kenwood Road from Montgomery Road north to the Blue Ash Corp line. The replacement of sidewalks and the old brick pavers will be replaced with new walk and stamped concrete between the limits of Montgomery Road and Galbraith. The project will also include repairing of stone retaining walls, new curb ramps, crosswalks, pavement markings, signage. The estimated cost of this project is about $4.7 million. The township is applying for a 90% SORTA grant. A resolution will be presented to the board this evening for that application. Finley Lane sidewalk SORTA application. This project includes the construction of approximately 400 feet of sidewalk on the north side of Finley Lane, beginning at the curb ramp and crosswalk at Montgomery Road. Will continue down to Lindcrest Drive. The new sidewalk will connect Finley Lane, Lindcrest Drive, and Sandymar Drive to the Montgomery Road sidewalk system to access Moeller, All Saints, township businesses, and the retail district. Estimated cost of this project is about $262,000. The township is looking to apply for a 90% SORTA grant on that as well. Resolution will be presented to the board this evening. And that's all I have for my reports.
What are our odds of receiving those grants upon applying?
Oh, I'm sorry, what was the question?
We're applying for these two 90% grants.
Yes.
Are we likely to get them, or is this a conditional competition?
It's a competitive process. We preliminary scored the Kenwood Road grant application based on our best estimate on the criteria, and it looked like we had a good chance of getting that funded. The Finley Lane sidewalk project, I think that's going to be a little tougher because the bus does not run up that far on Montgomery Road, but it is within the parameters to apply for the grant. So, yeah.
Very good. Fingers crossed. You are
Yes.
the magic grant writer, so
Yeah, let's hope.
bring the money home.
Yeah.
The number of buses that SORTA has on Montgomery Kenwood
Yeah.
should have a good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
As we all know.
yeah.
Yes.
Both would be nice improvements. I know the residents up on the Finley, Lindcrest, Sandymar area have inquired a few times to myself and Mr. Kellums about getting some sidewalk connection in there to go to All Saints and
Yeah.
Moeller and down to the Kenwood Business District. So, yeah.
That's great.
Very good.
So I do have some resolutions.
Okay.
The first resolution is a resolution authorizing a contract with TEC Engineering, Inc. for engineering services and dispensing with a second reading. That contract price is $109,065, which is within, I believe, 11% of the construction cost, which is probably a little bit below average cost for engineering services.
That's great.
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
I second. Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
The next resolution, I'd like for the board to consider, a resolution authorizing the township maintenance superintendent to prepare and submit an application to participate in the transit infrastructure programs, and also authorizing the township administrator to execute contracts as required, dispensing with a second reading. This one is for the Kenwood Road improvements.
I move we approve the resolution.
Second. Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
And the last resolution I have for the board to consider, a resolution authorizing the township maintenance superintendent to prepare and submit an application to participate in the transit infrastructure programs, and also authorizing the township administrator to execute contracts as required, dispensing with a second reading. This is for the Finley Lane sidewalk improvements.
I move we approve the resolution.
Second. Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
And that's all I have. Have any questions?
That was a great report. Thanks, Steve. Not for me.
Yeah, I have a few here. First of all, thanks over the Memorial Day weekend for getting staff involved on Saturday to take care of some vandalism that occurred on the
Yes.
roadway
Yes.
in Bayberry.
Yep, we
I know the guys-
responded fairly quickly.
You did,
Yep.
so thanks. I think you said you sent Brian and Danny out for that.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to them
Yep.
for doing that. Question about Orchard and the sign we talked about in our last meeting. What's
Yep.
the status of the order for that?
So Tracy and I were talking, so hopefully with this SORTA grant, we can possibly implement covering 90% of the cost in the grant. So hopefully we should know something, believe the deadline is for results to come out is late September. So,
So we don't have one on order yet, though.
no, we do
Do
not.
we have pricing for it? You were going to get
I
that.
have not seen any yet, no.
Okay, would you please check into that
I will,
again?
yep.
Because there are a lot of people who are very concerned about that intersection and the fact that there's not a sign there possibly indicating something might happen that isn't planned to happen. But I think Mr. Kellums has probably told you there was a meeting that some citizens organized at the church on May 20th or so, 21st, about this, and probably about 100 people turned out to express their concern for making sure that light stays there and that the intersection stays open. So
Yeah.
some of them have been in touch with me asking for information, so the more we can provide them, the more
Yeah.
help that'll be.
Absolutely. I will
Yeah,
ensure
thanks.
you it is on the radar.
All righty.
Yeah.
And for the festival also, could you circulate in the next few days, maybe just a budget update to the trustees and a list of vendors and so forth, so we have an update as to what's in the works and what's going there? That would be helpful.
Okay, yep,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Any other questions? You got it?
Thanks.
Larry, law director report.
Shockingly, I have nothing to report.
Well, okay then. Okay, no report.
I am shocked.
I suspect, however, Mr. Kellums will not have the same answer. So, Mr. Kellums, how about the administrator report this
I will be
evening?
short today, though. So the first thing I have is a liquor permit. We have been contacted by Miss Emily Davis. I don't know if, is Emily here tonight? She said she might show up. So Pinot's Palette, seeking to go back into the shops at Kenwood at 7714 Montgomery Road, and looking for a liquor permit. That would be a transfer by the Trex project. And I believe it's coming out of the Columbus area, isn't it, the permit? So I just wanted to bring this to you for your approval. I see no reason not to approve it. In fact, I believe this same business was there before under a different ownership, was it not?
That's correct.
Yeah. And then-
This is a concept where you go in and you paint and you, with friends and have a joyful experience, perhaps with some wine. I think obviously it was there previously as a use. I'm fine with the use. I have to admit I have participated in a similar activity elsewhere. So, I'm fine with it. I'm happy to move to approve the liquor application permit for Pinot Palace at 7701 Montgomery Road.
I'll second that motion. What is the process for this? The permit is issued by the state, but I'm just curious, what is our approval role in a liquor permit request like this?
So the state wants a signature from a local official to approve it before they will approve it.
Okay.
They want to make sure it's okay with the local government.
Okay. All good with me.
Okay, I guess Mr. Jeters?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Very good. Congratulations.
When does the business open?
Well, now that we have your results, I'm hoping to sign the lease this week and hopefully we'll open in September.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Have you contacted zoning? Have you talked to Jeff about
I have not yet.
okay, so you'll have to do that first.
We'd be happy to help you with your zoning certificates.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Jeff, you can give her a card tonight if you have one.
Great.
We'll help you out with whatever you need.
Awesome, thanks.
So next, just like to talk a little bit about this grant. Hamilton County put together an Office of Economic Development. They established that last year as part of the 2023 general fund budget and established a small event grant program that they have put together to help smaller communities focus events in Hamilton County that are outside the city of Cincinnati. And I mean, and this event, they've given us a $20,000 grant to support, because our event will support local food vendors and local hotels that expect to sell rooms, because we have a national act coming in to view for attendees that come from around to see national bands. So that is the main reason, the support of what's going on in the community and economic development that we received the grant. So I think it's a marvelous job, and it's a huge help, obviously.
Yeah.
$1,000
That's great.
grant
It's terrific.
is fantastic.
I was hopeful we would qualify for this when I saw the county was offering it, and that's great. That pays almost the entire cost of the spin doctors.
Yes, very close.
Very good.
It's very good.
Congratulations.
So
Well
all
done.
you have to do at the end is you submit a invoice to them and tell them what you spent the money on. It has to be something directly related to the National Act and restaurants,
That's great.
whatever you wanted to support.
Congratulations. Thanks for pursuing.
Yeah.
Glad we were successful. You said they just established this program last year? Or this year
A
was
few
the
months
first year?
ago, I think, is when the email went out.
Yeah,
I think I
you're
forwarded
right.
it to you
I
guys.
think this was the first one.
Yeah.
Good. That's great.
So I know I've talked to both of you about the solid waste management plan that was put out by Hamilton County Solid Waste. They have contacted us wanting a resolution to whether approve or disapprove. So I have a resolution disapproving the update of the solid waste management plan of the Hamilton County Solid Waste Management District and dispensing with a second reading.
I move we approve the resolution.
I guess I've got to bring it to the table to vote on it, so I guess I will second that motion. So now, any discussion?
I don't know if Mr. Kellum says other thoughts, but I read through the plan, and there's certainly some good stuff in it as to solid waste management, and there's all kinds of nonsense in it as well that has nothing to do with their mission for waste management, which seems to create a new bureaucracy
Yep.
to administer all sorts of justice programs and so forth that has nothing to do with collecting solid waste and disposing of it in an environmentally conscious fashion. So if they want our yes or no on it, I'm not in favor of approving it as it is stated, so I would vote yes to disapprove it in this resolution.
I would vote yes to disapprove it as well, for precisely the same reasons. I think, look, it's intent and it does some good things, and I think in looking at our record and some of the exhibits that they provide in that particular report, Sycamore Township stacks up pretty well as far as our municipality's achievement in a lot of those categories that they keep track of, as far as how we dispose of waste and the programs that we offer, everything from our trash bashes to our composting to what have you. But I would agree with you, Mr. James, there are a lot of initiatives in there that have, in my mind, absolutely nothing to do with the appropriate removal of solid waste. And so I would vote yes on this resolution disapproving the update of the solid waste management plan. Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James?
I am yes on the disapproval resolution.
I am yes on the disapproval of this resolution as well. Okay.
And I believe you all, well, I know you all received appropriation resolution by email, so I have a resolution amending 2023 appropriations and dispensing with a second reading.
I'll move to approve the resolution.
Second.
Tracy, can you walk us through what the changes are here, please, and the purpose for them?
Sure. So general fund, fiscal office, 12,000, and the other on general government personal, so 66,243. Most of that is PERS. If you remember correctly, we moved a lot of Debbie Campbell's salary to the fiscal office, and that was after our original appropriations had been done early in the year, so that's where that comes from.
Okay.
When you come down into public works, personal services, so that's other, there is some salary there. Permissive motor vehicles was $1,000. Lighting, 29.5, so that is just a pass-through. We have no control on that. We base the appropriations on history, and what's been spent over the years has just been much higher this year.
So that's residential street lighting then?
Residential street lighting, correct. The next big, if you go over to the next page, 53,000 under the Kemper TIF and 318,000. Those are auditor's fees and payments to schools. So those are more that we don't have control over. The payments to schools skyrocketed this year because of reevaluations. So you're going to find that all the way through this. So that's in 24. In 25, for the amount of 29,000, auditors' fees, 70,000, increase of payments to the schools. General government, you get back to manor care, same thing, 97,000, 734,000. 32 Sycamore Commons, same thing, 50,000, 384,000. Auditors' fees and payments to the schools.
Just to be clear, by auditor's fees, you mean county auditor?
County
pass
auditor,
through for
correct.
taxes, not we're paying an auditor.
Correct.
Right, thank you.
Back to page 6 of 7, same thing, payments to schools, a big increase on everything. 33,000, you go down to 55, the CIG, 210. This is the first year for those payments, that's brand new. The 443. Then you get down to JEDs. A lot of this is fire department. We did not appropriate everything in the beginning of the year, because it was coming out of JEDs. We're waiting to get more money in the JEDs. So this was an additional 1.4 million that's broken up into 4 different JEDs, and that's for personnel is what it's for. So that's the big one there.
Okay.
And that would be all of it.
Okay, thank you.
That's 500 out of 2 of the JEDs and 200 out of 2 of the other ones.
That was the only question I had, was just for the walkthrough.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Dieters?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
Then I have a resolution authorizing directing transfers of funds to reconcile budgets and appropriations, dispensing with the second reading.
I move to approve the resolution.
Second. Any discussion?
This is to transfer from general fund to the general obligation fund to payment of loans. This is for the Redstones in part of this, Deerfield Road and the North Firehouse.
Mr. Dieters?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
The only other thing I have is purchase orders over 5,000. Purchase order number 23-135 to TEC Engineering. This is for $109,065. This is for the resolution that you just approved for the Euclid Road Sidewalk Engineering and Design. And then 23-136 for Leader Machinery Company LLC in the amount of $15,223.32. This is for poly patches and a process to repair curbs. We are in part of our pavement management program that we're doing this year. This is to repair those curbs rather than ripping them out. You know, the next time we fix them and we repair the road, then it'll be a total gut.
I move we approve the purchase order list.
Second. Any discussion? Mr. Dieters?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye. Anything else, Mr. Kellums?
No, ma'am, that's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Dieters, fiscal officer report.
Yes. We had cash receipts of $507,664.77. Disbursements of $410,366.73. A complete listing of the receipts and the disbursements is available in the packet.
I move to approve.
Second. Any discussion? Mr. Dieters?
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye. Trustee comments.
A few things. Today is the 79th anniversary of D-Day, so very important occasion in the history of our country and the world, and ties into Memorial Day being last week. I was privileged to participate in the parade on behalf of the township. The other trustees and the administrator were all out of town in various places. Thanks to Chief Penny for getting me to the start of the parade, and I was able to make some remarks at the end of the crowd at Bechtold Park. It was a great ceremony in each of the communities that participated. The VFW puts it on each year, and they do a fantastic job. Deer Park had a flyover of some old warplanes at their event, one-upping us somehow there. Tracy, we need a flyover next year, I guess, but it was perfectly timed, too.
That's what they do.
Yeah, so very nice. Time on target.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, so anyway, that was a pleasure to participate in that, too. Thanks.
All right. Other than that, we'll move on to announcements. As Mr. Rudelschoffer noted earlier, there's music in the park this Saturday at 7 p.m. with Hi-Fi Honey over at Bechtold Park. Yoga coming up as well. For all other scheduled meetings and events, please see the published calendar on our website. With that, I would like to move that we go into executive session, or adjourn into executive session, as permitted by Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22 G1, to consider the employment and compensation of a public employee, as permitted by Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22 G3, to conference with the law director regarding pending or imminent litigation.
I will second that.
Mr. Dieters?
Mr. James. Aye. Ms. Schwagman.
Aye. Who would we like in this executive session?
The two trustees, Mr. Dieters, Mr. Barbier, and myself.
Alrighty. It is 7:35.
Oh,
We're gonna
and Mr. Cotter also.
7:35. We're gonna adjourn into executive session, and we shall return.